hell to the nah. This is nuts. This is crazy as hell. So this girl said that she attended ASU 10 years ago. And when she attended ASU, she said she had 3 other girls that she was in an apartment with. 2 of them had their own rooms, and she had to share a room with the other girl. And in that room, it was 2 twin beds. And she said the other thing that was in the room was ceiling to floor mirrors on the sliding doors of the closet. Now, she said that her and her roommate didn't have anything in common. They would just say hey and goodbye, and that's it. But she would always hear her roommate on the phone, on Skype, or simply just watching movies on her laptop. Now, it's important to keep in mind that she said her roommate had these slippers that would clack whenever she walked. Remember, keep that in mind. So she said Thanksgiving rolled around, and her roommate told her, like, hey, I'm going to be gone. I'm going to Minnesota to visit my family, and I'll be back, in a couple days. So she was just like, okay, cool. So while she's gone, the other 2 roommates are also gone. The ones who have their own room are also gone. She's the only one that's in the apartment by herself, because she said that her and her family were celebrating a week after. Okay, keep that in mind. So then she says that she was going through a breakup. So of course you can always, you can imagine she's crying. She's glued to her phone, watching his posts and stuff like that. And so then she said that she just laid there in the bed in the dark, which is also not safe to do, y'all, when y'all doing things like crying or mourning. Never be in the dark, because demons dwell in darkness. Okay? So she says she eventually fell asleep, and she had her phone tucked under a pillow. She went ahead and faced her body, her face towards the glass. The sliding glass is at the foot of the bed. So her head is facing that. So she said that she was awakened by the sound of her roommate's voice. And she was like, okay, she's kind of loud. I didn't expect her back, pretty much. And then she said that she could hear the roommate's slippers clacking. So she was like, okay, that's definitely her. But she heard it pacing, like she was walking back and forth from bed to bed. She said then it sounded like she started arguing with somebody on the phone, and she was like, okay, she's just getting louder and louder. That's kind of rude, because I'm in here laying down. Why can't she go into the living room and do that? Then she said that the more she listened, her voice got, like, it started to sound different. It didn't sound like her anymore, and the pacing got faster. Like, it sounded like she was walking hella fast. So then she said she opened her eyes and waited for her eyes to adjust, and she looked around the room, and she didn't see anyone. She didn't see a suitcase. She was really just looking around the room, just like, okay, she ain't even in here. So then she said as soon as she was pushing herself up from the bed so she can check out what's going on, she felt her roommate jump on her back. She said that once her roommate jumped on her back, she couldn't see anything. It was completely dark. She said she couldn't even see her reflection in the mirror anymore. So then she's thinking, oh my God, we don't have this kind of relationship for her to be playing like this. Like, what is she doing? So she said she felt the legs tighten around her arms, and she felt hands on both sides of her head lean in and say, no, I'm not her. She said it sounded like an old lady voice. So then she got freaked out. She starts trying to push up from the bed, trying to shake it off. And she said she just felt long, bony fingers sliding down her body, and she said she got chills all over her body. Now, she said that her roommate is also very petite and a very thin girl. So she realized, oh my God, she's so tiny. Ain't no way this could be her. So then she said once she was able to go free, break away from the demon being on her, she said that she ran to her phone. She called her sister. She told her sister what happened. Her sister was like, okay, I'm gonna pick you up. And she said that when she was gathering her things so that she could be ready when her sister picked her up, she said she looked in the mirror and she saw 2 red marks around her neck. Girl, that thing was trying to take you out. Now, keep in mind that it's never safe to be, I know that people go through things and, it's easier said than done, but it's never safe to be in a dark place like that. You have to let some light in, because they dwell in things like that, like darkness. They love that. They see you sad. Oh, hell yeah, she for me. I like that. Yeah, I like how sad she is. So even though because you just told me about your native roots, about how your father, blessed you and it really took you back to your native roots and made sure that you were okay. This is for other people out there who don't know. You can't do that. When you're mourning, I know if somebody really near and dear to your heart passed away, that the first thing you want to do is shut the world out, be in complete darkness, turn all the lights off. You have to let some light in. You cannot do that. Okay? So I remember when people had questions about when I stated that my grandmother could see death. So the best way for me to be able to explain to you was to put on this episode that I know of on Celebrity Ghost Stories. Wait 1 second.
So I said, I can leave now. So I'm in Santa Monica driving to LA, right near LAX. And I have butterflies in my stomach. Because I'm like, what is going on? What's wrong with my mother? I'm waiting on any kind of bad news. So I get to her house. And she lets me in this time. Something was definitely wrong. It was so thick in the air that you could cut it with a knife. And I just had to try and stop myself from shaking because my nerves were on edge. I was actually trembling in the car driving to my mom's house. So at the time, there were some guys in the neighborhood I'd grown up with. One of the kids' name was Adrian. We were best friends. And Adrian always found a way to do things the wrong way. I was able to forgive him for a lot of the dumb stuff that he did because he did a lot of stuff that didn't make sense. He was the kind of kid who would go off and do some dirt on his own and come back and you'd see that he had a new watch or a new necklace or something. It seemed like something was driving him to do wrong. And even when you snapped him out of it, he couldn't tell you why he did it. He was a couple of years older than I was, but I always could find a way to talk him into doing the right thing because I knew even then what karma was all about. I understood that spiritual law, that what goes around always comes around. We sit down and my mom says, I'm sorry to tell you that Adrian got killed last night. His cousin shot him and killed him in the middle of the street. And I was just stunned. And she said, he had been by here looking for you. And I saw death on him. My grandmother could actually see spirits. And my mom and grandmother could see death on a person before death collected their spirit. She did not want our paths to cross because she saw the spirit of death on him so strong that she knew there was nothing